Have you ever felt like some of the habits you've kept for years might be holding you back from truly enjoying life as you age? As we grow older, certain behaviors, once harmless, can actually drain our energy, impact our health, and even keep us from experiencing real happiness. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell to avoid missing any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. As we walk into the later stages of life, there's a powerful call to stop simply accepting everything people say without asking questions. We've all done it, haven't we? Silently nodded along just to keep the peace. At first, it might seem easy to navigate conflicts or make others happy. But there's something heartbreaking about this too. Over time, this tendency to agree, to remain quiet, begins to gnaw at our sense of identity. It might feel like a small compromise initially, but each time we choose to remain silent, a piece of our unique voice fades away. Suddenly, years go by, and we find ourselves barely recognizing the person we've become. Someone who once stood strong, but now feels like a shadow of that former self. This habit of unthinking agreement might seem innocent enough at the moment. But in the end, it's not just about keeping peace. It's about slowly surrendering your autonomy. Piece by piece, the things you care about, the principles you hold close, and even the little quirks that make you are brushed aside. And worse, this often hands over control to others. People who, no matter how well-intentioned, don't fully understand your life, your dreams, or the unique value of your voice. Why should anyone else decide what's right for you, especially after all the wisdom, insight, and strength you've built over the years? Society doesn't make this any easier either. We're constantly surrounded by messages suggesting that as we age, we should just let things go, sit back, and allow others to take over. But this way of thinking couldn't be more misguided or unfair. Why should age ever silence our voice or soften our opinions? Why should decades of life experience, which are priceless and hard-earned, be something we set aside? If anything, now is the time to speak up and hold on to that powerful voice you've developed, to express what matters to you with even more conviction. You've lived through so much. You've loved, you've faced challenges, you've grown through hardships, and you've experienced joys that others can only imagine. Every one of those experiences is valuable, and your insights are more important than ever. By allowing yourself to stay true to who you are and questioning what doesn't sit right with you, you're not just preserving your autonomy, you're showing the world and yourself that you are still very much in control of your life. Trust yourself. You have every reason to hold your head high, trust your instincts, and refuse to be swayed by the opinions of others. Your perspective is yours, and you've earned the right to believe in it wholeheartedly. Remember, if you don't stand up for yourself, who will? You deserve a life that's guided by your own beliefs, your dreams, and your own choices, not a life crafted by the expectations or judgments of others. Take a stand, let your voice ring clear, and reclaim that sense of freedom and control that comes with fully embracing your truth. Then there's the second thing we often face as we grow older, the quiet pull towards social isolation. It happens gradually, sometimes without us even realizing it. One day, we notice we're choosing to stay in more often, avoiding social events, or even feeling relief when plans fall through. It's easy to assume that withdrawing from social activities might be a good thing, that it's less stress, fewer obligations, and a way to rest and conserve our energy. But here's the harsh reality. Social isolation, no matter how comfortable it may feel at first, is one of the biggest threats to our mental and emotional well-being in these years. It's like a silent shadow that slowly overtakes our joy and enthusiasm for life, dimming the light that once radiated so brightly. When we choose to distance ourselves from others, loneliness begins to creep in like an unwelcome guest. At first, we might ignore it, thinking it's just a temporary feeling, something that will pass. But in reality, prolonged isolation digs its roots deeper, and the loneliness grows, becoming heavier and harder to shake off. The moments we once spent with friends, family, or even casual acquaintances start to feel like distant memories. And before we know it, we're living in a world that feels empty and disconnected. Research has shown that this kind of isolation isn't just emotionally painful, it's physically damaging, too. Studies reveal that loneliness and isolation can increase the risk of serious health issues, from heart disease to weakened immune responses, and even accelerate the onset of dementia. It's a grim reminder that we're not meant to live in solitude, but in connection and community. The human heart and mind are designed for companionship. We thrive on shared moments, laughter, and the gentle reassurance that comes from simply being in the presence of someone who cares. It's not just about filling a room with people. It's about creating meaningful connections. It's about sharing your thoughts, your stories, and your dreams with others. It's about allowing yourself to feel understood, valued, and respected. When we deny ourselves this essential part of life, we're not only risking our health, but losing a vital piece of what makes us human. Reaching out doesn't mean we need to constantly surround ourselves with people or push ourselves into social situations we don't enjoy. It means finding balance. It could be as simple as calling an old friend, visiting family members, or even starting a conversation with a neighbor. Sometimes the smallest efforts to connect can have the most profound impact. A short conversation, a shared smile, or a few minutes spent reminiscing can lift our spirits and renew our sense of purpose. Remember, we are not just here to exist. We're here to live, to experience, and to connect. In choosing connection over isolation, you're not just doing it for your mental health. You're giving yourself the gift of companionship, laughter, and joy. By opening yourself up to social interactions, you allow love, warmth, and a sense of belonging back into your life. Embrace these opportunities, hold on to those friendships, and let the people in your life remind you that you're still a vital part of this world, with so much to give and so much to experience. Because in the end, isn't that what we all want? A life filled with love, connection, and the warmth of knowing we're never truly alone. It's natural to feel like it's challenging to make new connections as we age. Perhaps you've lost dear friends along the way, or the friends you once saw so often have moved away or drifted into their own busy lives. But don't let this be a reason to resign yourself to a solitary life. The truth is, new connections are always possible, no matter our age or life circumstances. Community groups, recreational activities, hobby clubs, or even simple social media connections can provide countless opportunities to meet people who share your interests and passions. While it may feel different than the friendships you've had in the past, each interaction, no matter how brief or casual, can add richness and vitality to your life. The beauty of human connection is that it comes in many forms. Sometimes it's found in a shared smile with a stranger at the local park, other times in the joy of catching up with a loved one over a video call. Even the smallest exchanges can lift your spirits, make you feel seen, and remind you that you're not alone in the world. That's why if you've been shying away from social interactions or telling yourself you don't need them, it's time to change that mindset. The joy that human connection brings is too precious to ignore. Studies reveal that meaningful social interactions contribute immensely to mental and emotional health, especially as we age. Isolation might feel comfortable, but it's a fleeting comfort that eventually drains us of the zest for life. The connections around you, both old and new, are waiting to bring joy, laughter, and companionship into your world. Embrace them, Don't let the ease of isolation rob you of the beautiful, fulfilling connections still within reach. This leads us to another significant area that deserves attention in our later years: our physical health. It's so easy to think that if we've reached a certain age, our bodies are past their best, and there's little point in trying to make improvements. Maybe you've even thought, why should I worry about diet or exercise now? I've lived my life. But this thinking is a disservice to yourself. Science shows us that our bodies remain receptive to care and change at any age. Even small adjustments to your health routine, whether that's taking a walk around the neighborhood, choosing to eat a more balanced diet, or simply making sure to visit your doctor regularly, can have profound benefits. Imagine how different life could feel with just a little bit more mobility, a touch more strength, or even more energy to do the things you love. Exercise doesn't have to mean intense gym sessions or strenuous workouts. Even light activities like walking or gentle stretching can improve your balance, reduce the risk of falls, and keep your muscles engaged. And when it comes to diet, every small choice matters. A nutritious meal not only fuels your body, but also supports mental clarity, resilience, and emotional well-being. A healthy body gives you the energy to connect with others, pursue hobbies, and enjoy each day fully. Think of it as an act of self-respect, giving your body the care it deserves, no matter your age. There's so much more to life beyond just existing. These years are about savoring, experiencing, and cherishing every moment with the strength, vitality, and joy you can cultivate for yourself. By making your physical health a priority, you're not just prolonging your years, you're enhancing the quality of every single one of them. You're giving yourself the chance to enjoy life on your terms, with a body and mind that support you in doing so. Remember, these small actions you take now are the key to a more vibrant, fulfilling life, proving that it's never too late to take care of yourself, connect with others, and rediscover the joy that aging can truly hold. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. More than just adding years to your life, taking care of your physical health revitalizes your emotional well-being. A healthy body doesn't just mean fewer aches and better mobility. It fundamentally impacts the mind. When your body feels strong, agile, and capable, it brings a renewed sense of confidence. Suddenly, you don't just exist. You feel ready to embrace life, experience new things, and make the most of each day. The simple joy of being able to walk with ease, enjoy a meal that nourishes you, or spend time outdoors without strain does wonders for the soul. By prioritizing your physical health, you're allowing yourself to live with purpose, to savor every moment with clarity and energy, and to truly cherish the years you have ahead. In doing so, you're not only preserving your body, you're strengthening your spirit, making it possible to live each day with a sense of pride and gratitude. Then there's the emotional weight of the past, which can quietly overshadow your present. This brings us to the 4th essential shift: letting go of the habit of living in the past. Our memories are precious treasures, pieces of who we are, and it's natural to reflect on them. But there's a difference between cherishing memories and living within them. When we cling too tightly to what once was, we risk missing out on what could still be. The senior years are not simply a time for nostalgia. They're a chapter full of potential for new adventures, experiences, and connections. Yet, so many fall into the trap of believing that life's peak has already come and gone and that the best days are behind them. This way of thinking limits the joy, excitement, and growth that are still possible. Sometimes we find ourselves replaying moments, the people who have come and gone, the chances we didn't take, or the paths we might have chosen differently. These thoughts, though understandable, can turn into heavy chains if we let them dominate our minds. It's easy to look back and see only what we wish we could change, but here's the truth. The past is done, and it doesn't have the power to define the future unless we let it. What truly matters is the time you have right now, at this moment, to make new memories, explore new interests, and live fully. When we dwell too much on what's behind us, we often miss the beauty of what's right in front of us and the countless possibilities that lie ahead. Holding on to the past too tightly can breed frustration, sadness, and regret, all because we're focusing on things we can't change. The incredible power you hold is in the present, in the ability to shape each day with intention. You can create new experiences, big or small, that bring fresh joy, new stories, and satisfaction. You deserve to feel the thrill of something new, the warmth of connection, and the pride that comes from learning or trying something unexpected. Whether it's a new hobby, a deeper relationship with a friend, or simply taking in a sunrise with gratitude, these are the moments that truly define our lives. By focusing on today and letting go of yesterday, you give yourself the gift of freedom, the freedom to embrace life on your terms. You get to move forward, crafting memories that feel just as rich and meaningful as those of the past. After all, the best way to honor the life you've lived is to keep living fully, to keep exploring, loving, and discovering what each day has to offer. Remember, life isn't meant to be lived in reverse. New chapters are waiting to be written, and you are the author of every single one. So, cherish the past, but don't let it overshadow the joy, growth, and possibilities that lie ahead. People often fall into the trap of believing that being in a later stage of life means the door to excitement, discovery, or new possibilities is closed. But let me tell you, this is one of the biggest misconceptions about aging. Life is constantly unfolding with opportunities, no matter your age. The beauty of life is that each day offers a blank page, a chance to write something new, try a different path, or embrace a fresh perspective. It's up to you to stay open to these possibilities, to allow yourself to explore. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, diving into a subject you've always been curious about, or even building new relationships, there's always room for growth and joy. But to truly make space for these experiences, we have to let go of the past. Cherish your memories, yes, but don't let them take over your present. Life still has so much to offer, and it's waiting for you to step forward and claim it. Then, there's the idea of self-sacrifice, something that, while seemingly noble, can quietly erode your happiness and well-being. This is the fifth important shift. Stop sacrificing yourself for others at the expense of your own needs and dreams. Many of us have been caregivers all our lives. We've given our time, energy, and love to those we cherish. Our children, grandchildren, partners, and friends. We've made countless sacrifices, often putting our well-being on the back burner for the sake of others. And while this devotion is commendable, it's also a double-edged sword. Over time, if we're not careful, this pattern of self-sacrifice can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a painful realization that those we've helped may not fully appreciate or reciprocate our efforts. Imagine how many times you've set aside your dreams, even compromised your health, just to bring a smile to someone else's face. While there's beauty in giving, there's also a harsh truth we often avoid. Sometimes, others will take advantage of our willingness to prioritize them over ourselves. They become accustomed to our sacrifices, our silent labor, without ever offering a hand to lighten our load. And as we age, this reality can hit harder than ever. You may begin to see how, while you've dedicated years to supporting others, they may be out there living their lives freely, without stopping to ask how you're doing or what you need. This cycle of constant giving without receiving eventually takes its toll, often leading to feelings of frustration and even bitterness. You start to realize that while you've poured your energy into others, your happiness and health have been neglected. And if you continue on this path, you risk more than just weariness. You risk losing touch with your joy and your dreams. It's a sobering truth, but it's one worth embracing. It's time to put yourself first. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable or even selfish at first, but remember this. You deserve the same kindness, care, and consideration that you've so freely given to others. Let those around you take on their responsibilities. It's not your duty to carry the weight of everyone else's lives, especially if it means sacrificing your happiness. Now is the time to look after yourself, honor your own needs, and find peace within yourself. Another equally crucial shift is to stop ignoring your own physical and emotional limits. This is the sixth essential change. Acknowledge and respect your limits, without fearing that it makes you weak or incapable. For so many, especially as we age, there's a stubborn belief that admitting we need to slow down, rest, or ask for help is somehow a sign of weakness. We might think that accepting our limits means we're giving in to the aging process, letting it win, but this kind of thinking is not only unkind, it's also dangerous. The real strength lies in recognizing when we need a break and when our bodies or minds need time to recharge. There's no shame in slowing down, in admitting that certain tasks are no longer as easy as they once were. Aging gracefully means understanding and embracing the changes that come with each stage of life. By ignoring our limits, we're only setting ourselves up for harm, physically, emotionally, and mentally. We push ourselves too hard, risking injuries, emotional burnout, or worse. Respecting your limits doesn't make you weaker. It makes you wiser. It means you're listening to your body, valuing your health, and making decisions that support a more balanced, peaceful life. Instead of viewing these limits as obstacles, think of them as guides, helping you to focus on what truly matters. Maybe it means shifting to gentler forms of exercise or taking time to rest without guilt. Perhaps it means letting others assist you when needed without feeling diminished by it. These boundaries aren't signs of defeat. They're an invitation to live more mindfully, to savor the moments without pushing yourself to exhaustion. By honoring your limits, you're also showing yourself respect, acknowledging that you deserve to live without constant strain. You're embracing life in a way that prioritizes both your physical health and emotional well-being, creating a path forward that feels sustainable and fulfilling. Ultimately, each of these steps, embracing new experiences, letting go of the habit of self-sacrifice, and honoring your limits, is about reclaiming your life. You've given so much and endured so much, and now is the time to give back to yourself. It's about finding joy in the present, relishing in the possibilities that each day brings, and finally allowing yourself the freedom to live life on your terms. You're not defined by your past or by others' expectations. You're defined by the choices you make now, the love you give yourself, and the strength with which you embrace each new chapter. When we try to do everything just as we did in our younger days, whether it's lifting heavy objects, pushing through fatigue, or ignoring emotional exhaustion, we are asking our bodies and minds to go beyond what they're ready for today. And while there's courage in not letting age define you, there's also wisdom in respecting the changes that naturally come with time. It's a hard truth to face. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Ignoring this reality can lead to serious consequences. So many people get hurt or develop chronic health issues simply because they refuse to acknowledge that their bodies now have different needs than they did at 30 or 40. The resilience we once took for granted might no longer be there in the same way, and forcing ourselves to ignore that only invites risk. However, respecting your limits doesn't mean abandoning the things you love. It's about adapting and finding new ways to engage in the activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Knowing when to slow down, when to ask for help, or when to modify a task doesn't signify weakness. It's an act of self-love. It's an acknowledgement of your worth and the wisdom you've gathered over a lifetime. Recognizing your limits allows you to protect your physical and mental well-being, ensuring that you can continue to engage fully in the parts of life that truly matter to you. Rather than seeing limits as obstacles, think of them as gentle reminders to prioritize what's truly important. Focus your energy on what brings you joy and nurture yourself in ways that allow you to thrive. Another important area that many avoid addressing is sexuality in later years. This brings us to the seventh key. Stop believing that sexual relationships are too young for you, or that this part of life is past. This misconception is deeply rooted in society and often within ourselves, but it's time to challenge this myth head-on. Sexuality has no age limit. Sexual intimacy and desire are aspects of life that can bring joy, connection, and fulfillment at any age. Sadly, many people shy away from this part of life due to shame, fear, or the belief that it's no longer appropriate. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Sexuality, when approached with health and openness, remains a vital part of emotional and physical well-being. Physical intimacy fosters closeness, boosts self-esteem, and nurtures a sense of connection with our partners. And as we age, the nature of intimacy often evolves, becoming even more profound and meaningful. Gone are the insecurities and pressures of youth. What remains is a genuine desire to connect, express love, and experience the pleasure of simply being close to someone we trust. For many, intimacy in later years isn't just about the physical. It's about the emotional bond, the comfort of shared presence, and the beauty of companionship that has withstood the test of time. One of the biggest barriers preventing many seniors from embracing their sexuality is prejudice, both societal and self-imposed. Our culture often paints sexuality as something exclusively for the young, as though it were a privilege that diminishes with age. But that perspective is a disservice to the richness of human experience. Physical and emotional closeness can be deeply fulfilling at any age, perhaps even more so as we grow older and come to appreciate the deeper, quieter forms of connection. Intimacy often gains a level of depth and meaning that far surpasses the physical act itself. It becomes about comfort, acceptance, and feeling understood in ways that words alone can't capture. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Don't let the outdated notion that intimacy is for the young hold you back. Embrace the truth that physical and emotional closeness is an essential part of life that doesn't fade with age. It simply takes on new dimensions. Reclaim this part of yourself if you've been avoiding it, and recognize that your capacity for connection and desire is as valid and valuable now as it was in any other stage of your life. Let yourself experience the joy, the pleasure, and the fulfillment that intimacy brings, knowing that it's a celebration of life, love, and the unique bond you share with another person. For many seniors, another reason that creates distance from sexual relationships is the worry about physical performance or the inevitable changes that come with aging. Bodies age. They change, respond differently, and may not function exactly as they once did. This is perfectly natural, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Unfortunately, these changes often lead to anxiety or the fear of not being enough, causing many to withdraw from intimacy. However, these changes don't mean that pleasure has to decrease. In fact, with years of experience and a deepened sense of self, seniors have the opportunity to explore their sexuality with a freedom that's often absent in youth. There's no longer the pressure to prove anything. Instead, there's a comfort in simply being, in experiencing intimacy with a partner who values you for who you are, not for any preconceived standards. The true key here is adaptation. Embracing a fulfilling, active sexual life is entirely possible, and it can be deeply satisfying, especially when we release the idea that intimacy has to look like it did decades ago. Finding new rhythms, being open with your partner about desires and boundaries, and exploring intimacy in ways that feel right for your current stage of life can all bring immense joy. Moreover, intimacy in later years is far more than just immediate pleasure. It offers profound health benefits. Studies show that an active sexual life can contribute positively to mental health, immune function, and heart health. The release of endorphins and oxytocin during intimacy reduces stress, improves mood, and even strengthens the immune system. It's a form of self-care that's not only enjoyable, but also supports physical and emotional well-being. Avoiding intimacy because of fear or misconceptions about age means giving up one of the best tools for enhancing health and happiness. Just as a good diet, regular exercise, and social connection support health, so does intimacy. The warmth, comfort, and shared vulnerability of a close relationship bring a sense of peace and happiness that extends well beyond the bedroom. Allowing yourself this closeness is an invitation to experience joy, to feel vibrant and alive, and to nurture your connection with your partner. Most importantly, remember that there's no right way to experience sexuality in senior years. Each person is unique, with personal needs, preferences, and comfort levels. The journey is about feeling empowered and content in whatever choices you make. If sexual desire remains a part of your life, don't let age, preconceived notions, or societal prejudice hold you back. Seek out information, communicate openly with your partner, and consult with health professionals if needed to maintain a safe and fulfilling intimate life. Sexuality is not a privilege of youth. It's a part of our human experience that brings us joy, comfort, and closeness at every stage. Embracing this side of yourself is not just about pleasure. It's a celebration of life, a reminder that we are capable of love, connection, and vitality at any age. Thank you for joining us today and taking this journey through the essential lessons that can help us live fully, even as the years go by. We hope these insights have sparked some reflection and inspired you to embrace each moment with wisdom, strength, and self-love. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're excited to bring into practice in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that uplifts and empowers you every step of the way.